Welcome back to Story Mode. It's 2009 and Mandy and I are finally getting on top of things. I'm collecting games like crazy. Our work's going great. Everything's going great, except we're still not married. This year, it must happen. Welcome to 2009. Now by this time I'm kind of out of this new age music. I'm more into the 80s and 90s, you know this. But two songs I did kind of like. Now as far as movies go, I don't really have a top list of movies, but here are three movies that I remember from 2009. The first one, G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra.
Here they come. Go, go, go!
The next one would have to be Star Trek, the reboot of Star Trek. I liked it, but nothing beats the original. Nothing beats William Shatner. Now here's a movie I didn't see until a couple of years ago, District 9, an incredibly underrated movie.
It's going to be quick. It's going to be clean. Best of all, it's going to be quiet.
It's 2009 and this is the year Mandy and I don't want any more surprises. We want to get on with our lives. She's dealing well with the MS, doing special exercises, and we're both going well at work, even though Pioneer was slowing down a bit because of the LCD craze. But this year we wanted to get married, and at the same time, I'm collecting so many video games, I find out that I am possibly the biggest video game collector in the world, so I'm toying with the idea of even applying for the Guinness Book of Records. As I said, LCDs were starting to become not only cheaper, but better, almost as good as a plasma. Now, without getting into a whole argument, what's better, LCD or plasma, plasma did have the edge on LCD for obviously better blacks, for a smoother picture. But Pioneer were now starting to feel the heat because not only were LCDs cheaper, but Panasonic were making plasmas almost as good as Pioneer for but half the price. It was a little bit scary, but Pioneer was still hanging in there. So for now, Jess and I were doing great. So one weekend, Mandy decided to go up to her parents' farm. They live out in the country, and visit them. Now, because Pioneer was slowing down, I had to take all the work I could get, and that meant weekend work, which I'm against. But I had to do it. I had to bring in the money. We had the mortgage, we had other things on the go, and we were saving for a wedding. So I had to do what I had to do. And on that weekend, it was extremely hot. In fact, it was over 40 degrees or 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Saturday, February the 7th, 2009. Temperatures have been soaring above 40 degrees for days. Now the winds are rising, and Victoria holds its breath.
Well, there's simply no way of underestimating the fire threat Victoria is facing over the next 24 hours or so.
During Saturday, a gale-force north wind will combine with extreme heat, and that's not a good combination in terms of fire potential.
I got a frightening call from Mandy on the Saturday saying there's a fire that's broken out and it's so rampant and massive, and that they were fairly close to us. They said, well, get your parents and get out of there, start actually moving out. And she said it wasn't that simple. There was almost fires all around them, not circular, but at the kind of like half circle or something like that. It was quite hard to understand on the phone, but that's what I'm led to believe. So Mandy and her parents got in the car and they moved out of the firing direction and started heading back towards Melbourne, where we live.
Mid-morning in Melbourne, and senior firefighters are gathering. They're studying the fire danger index, combining temperature, wind speed, humidity and fuel data. It measures the risk of a bushfire on a scale of 0 to 100. Today the index is peaking close to 200.
An hour later, she rings me up and said the fire has almost doubled in size and the road that she wanted to get back to Melbourne was closed due to fires coming that way. This started scaring me, but she actually found others and went to an oval. And she, as I said in the past, she's a strong woman, but she did sound a bit terrified. She said it's that bad, the roof of the car, which we had a Mitsubishi Pajero at the time, was almost black from all the soot in the air and then falling on cars and everywhere. And this is like some movie, it's horrifying. We kept in contact constantly, but a couple of hours passed and the fire was out of control. It took hundreds of houses, if not thousands, and this is where the fire was known as the Black Saturday fires. I did not realise the magnitude of the fire until I turned on the news.
Fires were everywhere. My dad was involved in a 4-car collision there and I couldn't get him out, he's still dead in the car there.
We just have no one to talk to, nobody knows. I know.
You know, and all their best friends are dead. You know, their kids are dead. And
Tomorrow's run over to Daddy.
You know.
She got home Sunday morning and when I saw her, she just broke down into tears. She said it's the most horrific thing she's ever experienced. And to see animal life and even some people lose their lives, I just couldn't imagine what she went through. The car smelled like smoke, she smelled like smoke. It was everywhere. In fact, the back bumper bar of the car, which is made of plastic, was actually melted a bit, and that was because she was near the fire.
I just remember just gasping for air. It's just like there wasn't a lot of oxygen in the air. It was that hot and that stuffy, and you just breathing in smoke. You could barely even breathe.
By mid-afternoon, the catastrophe has begun. 10 uncontrollable fires are now burning. 9 major roads and highways are blocked and closed.
It's a day to remember on the Australian calendar, known as Black Saturday. And this time, Mandy and I needed to come together and pick up where we left off. It was hard for us to continue with all this drama, the MS, now the Black Saturday fires. We needed a miracle.